Welcome to the Gridiron Circle, featuring Mike Hollis, Troy Hambrick, Coach Robby Wells, and JW the Wingman. Four perspectives, unfiltered analysis, the stories behind the game. This is the Gridiron Circle.
Hey guys, I'm Mike Hollis. I'm your former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker, as original Jacksonville Jaguars kicker for 7 years, and played 9 years in the NFL as a kicker, and enjoying life now as a retired former NFL athlete, and enjoying these podcasts, of course. And so I've got a little platform called Zealous Wellness. I've always been involved in health and wellness, nutrition as part of my job, essentially, back when I played. But just really trying to find that youthful way of living my life and returning or rewinding the clock, essentially, on time. So I've developed this platform called Zealous Wellness, where I offer personal experiences in products and services that have benefited me, as former NFL athletes. And even during the time I played, we got a lot of information tossed at us, a lot of people wanting us to try their products. And I'm a very optimistic man, and so I say yes. I say yes to a lot of those things, and I've tried a lot of products. I can promise you that, and not honestly, not a lot of them have worked. And so that's where I'm kind of summarizing all the little products and services that I've really benefited from, and developed a platform called Zealous Wellness, where I offer peptides, I offer therapy as far as treatments, things like that, stem cells, the proactive wellness supplements, hydrosonic water. There's all kinds of little things. Talk about exercise and fitness and what I've been up to lately. So that's my spiel, and I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Yes, sir. How you doing? My name is Troy Hambrick. Played 5 years in the NFL. Former Cowboy, former Arizona Cardinals. I've just been back, giving myself back to the community, enjoying helping kids, recidivism. Started my foundation, just looking to plug myself into a community that where needs and help needs being met. A father of 10 kids, trying to hold my family together, putting things together, putting perspective together. Just enjoying life. Enjoying life, and look forward to working my foundation over the world. Yeah, this Saturday, August the 22nd, we have an autograph session going on. Me and some other guys, DeLone Carter from Indianapolis Colts. You got Kevin Pup Smith, ex-Aggie, ex-Cowboy. You got Too Tall Jones. You got Tony Tolbert. Just taking time out from 11 to 1 p.m. Come out and fraternize with us. It's all about faith, family, and football in our eyes. It's always good to meet and greet.
Hi, I'm Robby Wells, and I am so glad to be on this podcast. I am a 20-year former college football coach, motivational speaker, author, uh, president of a life insurance brokerage company, which is Rise Up USA under the umbrella of Family First Life. And I've run for president of the United States. I'm really excited to be on here with Mike and Troy and Jason talking about this upcoming season. And I am really excited to see what actually happens as we get going with this, with the next round of the preseason games. Stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gridiron Circle. Welcome, Mike, Troy, and Robby. This is going to be an awesome conversation today, and we're going to recap our picks from last week. But before we do that, Robby, what were your observations from actually week one of preseason one?
Well, let's talk about those Cowboys. Let's get right into it right now. Last year, they were dead last on defense. Even though their offense was so good with all the firepower that they had, they were not able to win very many games because their defense was not able to slow anybody down, giving up over 30 points a game. But what I saw in that preseason game against Seattle, that was played in Seattle against the 12th man, I saw a defense that came to life with a bunch of young players that really did some great things. I'm looking for a really improved Dallas Cowboy football team this year. I don't want to say Super Bowl or anything like that, because everybody that's been watching NFL football for a while knows that it really, late in the season, it comes down to who gets hot and who is healthy. But I will say this: they've got to be a contender for getting in the playoffs and doing a great job this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, did you catch any games? I know your daughter got married.
I didn't. I had some other priorities. I'm sorry, I didn't really watch football much at all last weekend. But I know my Jaguars won.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of us were glad about that. Troy, any observations?
Yeah, I have looking at the game, I'm watching the Rams quarterback Simpson to see how he's throwing the ball, man. He's catching on, taking some nice quick throws. McVay got him humming real good. I like the the way he's inserting himself. And Mendoza out in Oakland, he got out scrappy right behind Kirk Cousins. It seemed like they're coming up with a different fire out there in Vegas.
Yeah. And so in Atlanta, we have a huge concern at the quarterback position. And so Tua is actually Michael Penix's backup. And there's a lot of concerns there. I mean, a lot of people are asking the question, okay, why would the Falcons bring in Tua, who is hurt as well? At any moment, he could have another injury, just like last season. I don't see that as a strong backup to Michael Penix. We'll see what happens. I don't know, but we got killed all over the place, all over the field last weekend on both sides of the ball. A lot of tip passes and a pick six. I mean, it just got worse as the game went on. So I don't know. I don't know about this week against the Colts, but we'll see what happens. And so one of the questions that I have, gentlemen, is that, Troy and I had a conversation yesterday about the guys that are cut during preseason. What happens to these guys, man, after they lose the chance of making the team? Troy, you had some perspective on that.
Yeah, I can't quite remember exactly how it went, but at the same time, you lost. I told you yesterday, once you get cut, first thing you do, you find your shower and go and cry. Because you got to get at least 30 minutes in of tears, feeling failure. The uncertainty of what's next with your career, how hard it is to get into the NFL, to get that opportunity. Man, you're dealing with a small percentage of guys that even get an opportunity. So, you find 30 minutes of getting cut, you go cry somewhere, and, then you find the local script club and a bottle of Hennessy.
Look at Robby.
I'm sorry. This is what I experienced. I'm speaking personally, to feel that. So, then you wake up the next day, and then hopefully you got great people in your corner that says, try to find out what's next, and looking for a better opportunity and another opportunity.
Yeah. What's your perspective on that, Coach?
Well, the one thing about the NFL, when they start making the cuts, the CFL, and a lot of people don't realize this, but the CFL always, every team leaves at least 2 to 3 positions open on their practice squad so they can bring some of those cut players from the NFL up, giving them a chance, number one, to get acclimated into the CFL, and number two, to see if they could actually make the team. But if they do make that team and they can continue on, then who knows, if they do really well, then they can come back. There's been a lot of players that have actually gone that route, didn't make it initially in the NFL, went to the CFL and came back. You've also got the UFL now, so there's a lot of opportunities out there. You've got arena football as well. I spent 1 year as a general manager of an arena team, and we had quite some talent, including some guys that had played for the Falcons, some guys that had played for the Patriots, that were on the back end of their career. And but there's opportunities out there. If somebody really wants that opportunity, just ask Kirk Cousin about that.
True story. Yeah, that's very true.
Or Kurt Warner, excuse me, Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, yeah. Mike, what do you think?
Well, my experience with being cut was, because I was with the Chargers, my first team, and John Carney was a kicker then, so it was expected. I knew I was going to get cut, right? So, but I almost beat him out. They told me later on, but I went back to school, back to college. Of course, I'm young and just still had a little bit of school left to go, and so did that and regroup and just work out a little bit harder and looking for that another opportunity, and really that's kind of where it is, and then. Later on down the road as a veteran, I didn't really get cut by the Jaguars. They just let my contract expire. Then I went to the Bills, and they decided not to renew my contract as well. And then the other time I got cut was with the Giants on injury. I had injury, and so they cut me by failed physical essentially. So so I did really. I didn't experience a lot of that. Yeah, you do definitely experience failure. I can tell you stories beyond stories about how many times I was overlooked and opportunities I had to play. In the World League the NFL World League back in the day after I was released by the Chargers, my agent and the general manager Bobby Beathard both told me, say, hey, listen, don't enroll in school because we're going to enter you into the World League draft. The World League was coming back up again in the NFL, and so I'm thinking I'm going to go overseas somewhere and play because I'm definitely oh yeah, you'll get drafted. Yeah, well that draft came and went, and sure enough, I did not get drafted. So. Those were letdowns for me, but that just fueled to put more fuel in the fire and maybe work a little harder. And so I had to prove a lot of people wrong.
Let's switch gears here. We're going to talk about something that the coach is really, really passionate about, and that's the NIL. We're going to start this conversation with you, Coach. What's your perspective on the NIL and how this is affecting the athletes?
Well, it's here. And I actually had on my podcast just a few weeks ago, Rick Stockstill, who's been coaching now for 4 decades. And he's been at Clemson. He's been the head coach at Middle Tennessee. He's now back at his alma mater, which is Florida State University. And he brought up a great point. The point is, NIL is here now. It's not going anywhere. What they really need to do is be able to regulate it in a better way. And here's what I mean. Now that we've gone to the NIL, they're going to keep going down this rabbit hole. And what's to stop these athletes from saying, well, why do we need to go to class anymore? Why do we need to get a degree? And then you're going to get to the point where you've got quarterbacks, let's say basically a franchise quarterback that's getting paid several $1 million. And for whatever reason, he has a falling out with his head coach. And he goes to that athletic director after the season. He says, hey, listen, it's either him or me. And they fire the head coach, all because of this NIL. It's here. They've just got to find a way to regulate it, in my humble opinion. One thing that I will say is Nick Saban, if they ever decided to have a commissioner of NCAA football, I think that Nick Saban would be a great person for that position, or somebody like a Nick Saban.
Interesting. Okay. Mike, what do you say on NIL?
Well, I agree with a lot of that stuff. It's giving these kids an incentive just to, you're putting a lot of money in the pockets of even younger. Like we always used to think about, like first round draft picks and how, man, they're only like 22, 23 years old and or less, they're getting a lot of, incentive and money right out of the gate and haven't even proved themselves. Well, yeah, NIL, they've proved themselves somewhat, but they're even younger. And so just like Coach said, you give them the incentive, like, why should I go to class? I mean, and again, you think about the mentality of anybody entering a professional sport of any kind. Our initial reaction is like, wow, I made it. This is going to be my life. And I can retire after, I don't know, maybe, 5, 10, 20 years. And I can live the rest of my life and do nothing, and that's a rude awakening. It's a sad mistake. When it comes to the mentality of what really professional sports is. And they call it NFL for a reason, not for long, because, the average existence in the NFL is really a 3-year period for most athletes. So you're sending the wrong message. I understand, having some ways of getting good players at your college and having them play for that college, but it's just, I think it's gone a little bit too far. It's just giving a bad impression on these guys, bad incentives for life, really, in that matter.
Absolutely. Troy, what do you think?
Well, I agree totally with them. I think a lot of these players are deserving. To go back in my era, and think about the work that we put in at the university, and to get a free ride and free food, it was different. We had moments where we really needed cash. We really needed things going on, families struggling back home, mom in the projects, so it's a lot of areas where I can see that is needed. I think it has to be funneled differently, just to hold these kids into tag, or they're going to run off, and they're going to run off fast. And all we can hope is that they do the right stuff with the blessing, because it's truly a blessing for the guys in the earlier stages of earlier. We wish we had a deal like this on the table, and mom could have lived a little better, daddy could have lived a little better, could have had health care, could have had dental work. So it's a lot of things that you got to look at. And it's the component of everything. Do they deserve it? I mean, you make so much money for the university. These major universities are making major capital. Where does the line draw? Where does it go? But once again, like Coach said, we just got to learn how to make sure that they're still going to school. Add that in there, because then the NFL career is going to end real quick, just like Mike Hollis said. So I agree totally.
And one thing I used to say, Troy, to all of you guys that I had the pleasure of coaching was, listen, I know it's your desire to make the NFL one day, but the fact of the matter is that less than 1% of all college football players ever make the NFL, make a roster. And if you're only going to be there, like Mike's saying, for 3 seasons, or actually a little bit less than 3 seasons on average, that means that when you're 24, 25 years old, you are a retired NFL football player if you had the privilege of actually making it. That means you're a very, very young man. Now, what are you going to do? Because we've seen so many very young men that finish up in the NFL and then they really don't have any money. Pardon the language, not a pot to piss in at that point. And then at that point, what are they going to do if they do not have that college education? So let's get back to the meat and potatoes of it. Let's make sure that we're making sure that these kids are going to class. There needs to be some regulations in there, because if not, it's going to get out of control and it's going to spiral and keep spiraling.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what happens if they get injured? God forbid. I mean, they have no education, no money because they lost the contract. And what happens at that point? So, yeah, there needs to be more regulation. All right, gentlemen, we're going to take a look at last week's picks. And so Troy came in first at 10-6 on his picks. I came in at 9-7, and Coach Robby Wells, you came in at 8-8 on yours.
Y'all act like y'all expected something different than the outcome that you got. I see y'all brought in Mike this time to try to level it out, huh?
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm just a kicker, so we'll see.
You didn't push too many of them right.
All right, so we're going to do the same thing this week on our picks. But let's get back into some conversation about week one. Coach Wells, what do you think should be done on balancing whether or not an injured player should have a chance to start again, like Michael Penix in the case of the Falcons, as opposed to keeping him on the bench for the full season? Robby, you there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
All right. Yeah, I hear you now. What'd you say?
Okay. All right. I was saying that, what do you think that coaches should be able to do in the case of a Michael Penix when he's injured? Should they keep him on the bench for the full season, or should they give him another chance to play?
Well, it really just depends on the athlete, and it depends on the severity of the injury. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that the well-being of your players is intact. So there's a fine line in the preseason as well. you want to make sure that you are safeguarding against the injuries, especially against your franchise quarterback or your players that are costing so much money to be on your roster. But at the same time, they've got to get some reps to make sure that the cobwebs are dusted off and that they're ready to go once that regular season rolls around. So it's just a fine line. It's something. It's truly a business. It's really a business on the collegiate level as well, of making sure that you're putting out the best product that you possibly can, and at the same time preserving the well-being of each one of your players.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I look at injuries. Injuries is a big deal. It's you just never know, and it depends on the severity of the injury, of course. I had 4 back surgeries during my NFL career, and I was one of the guys that just I wanted to play, and coaches like those kind of guys, of course. We are an incentive, or we're an investment for the company essentially. So, or for the team. And so, my goal was, and one of my back surgeries I had was right after like the second game of the regular season. And I missed the game I was supposed to play. I literally was watching it from the hospital bed before my surgery on a Sunday. And then, so I missed that game, and now I missed 3 more. So I only missed 4 games that year. And again, I was trying to get back on the field because I wanted to play. And of course, the coaches wanted me to get on the field because it's money that they're paying out to a player. So, injuries in general are just a tough thing to deal with in the NFL, and it's just part of the game, and we never know. That's why I'm terrible at making predictions like a full season. Like, how the Jaguars going to do today? My first answer is, well, if we stay healthy and safe, we might do pretty good. But you
Right.
never.
Very good point, Mike. I say the same thing. We look at preseason, we look at the early part of the regular season, and whoever looks great then, yeah, they could. There's sometimes when that team can go all the way through. I think back on that 2007 New England Patriots team that went undefeated and then lost the Super Bowl. But for the most part, it's really the team that gets hot. In fact, the team that beat them in the Super Bowl that year, Coughlin, I believe, was on the hot seat earlier in that year, but they got hot, got in the playoffs, and ended up winning the Super Bowl. So, uh, and they got healthy towards the end too, where everybody else started having nagging injuries. So you're exactly right. It really just depends on who is going to survive, because it is survival of the fittest, and it is a warrior sport. I don't care what anybody says, it's a warrior sport.
It's a warrior sport, and there's a difference between injured and hurt. And I think you got to go ahead and push the envelope with Michael Penix Jr. You got Tua there that got some pro experience. We're not sure, with his head injuries and all, where he stands at with reaction and reaction. But I think it's a format where you got to go. Preseason is the time that you try to cover your players, but we got to get these bumps and lumps out of the way, physically, mentally. We got to be ready. And I think it's the same thing even with workload management. I think with the break that Saquon took last year, it's not for him. I think Saquon Barkley had a down year because they had too much work management, workload on him. When you got to play football, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. And I think if it's time to go for Michael Penix Jr., I think he needs all the reps he can get. If it's any insecurities there, if he's not psychologically there, mentally there, then you make the right pull at the organization. But you got to get these guys out. I'm interested to see how many guys are really going to play through preseason. Then you start the season, then you get these lumps and bumps. Now you're not recovering fast enough. When you go through preseason, you get these lumps and bumps on you, and you recover a lot more, wear and tear on you, if you understand me.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, what do you think about this, man? What goes through a player's mind as that deadline for the 53-man roster approaches?
Man, I hope I make the team. It depends on their situation, of course. If it's a young guy just really eager to make a team, and maybe knowing that he was 5th on the roster on the depth chart, probably the odds are probably not very good that he's going to make the team. But it's just you kind of know. I think you kind of know. I mean, it's hard to evaluate players at the highest level of football in the world, but these guys, the evaluators, the coaches, and the staff, they're very good at evaluating. They have reasons for their cutting and hiring and firing and all that. So it's just a mindset thing. And my thing is I'm so optimistic that I just know that the second I'm going to get cut, I know there's going to be another opportunity out there. And so I'm going to be happy about it. I'm going to work hard for it and then move on. I'm not going to take it, really negatively. It's a business, and I get that. Now, if I was a kicker on the team and I was 100% in preseason, and some young guy came in and he was like, 80%, and then I got cut, it might be a money issue. Who knows? If they're playing players too much, or they got to decrease their salary cap, and they'll get rid of guys that are getting paid too much that aren't performing at the level they believe. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Troy, what do you think?
Yeah, I was one of the guys my rookie year, fought all the way through, got all the way down to the last cut, and eventually got cut. With the roster that I had, I thought I performed well enough on special teams that year to get a spot in multiple positions, but it didn't work out, and it's tough. It's tough to have put all your marbles in one basket, and that was a tough moment. That was a tough moment for me.
Was that at the Cowboys, or what team was that?
That's Cowboys. Cowboys. I came in. They had Chris Warren. They had Emmett. They had some Robert Thomas that was converting from linebacker to fullback. So they had these guys, in place. And so I shot for the special teams through Coach Joe Avazano, and I had won him over. But it's a numbers game, like Mike say. It's a numbers game where it just didn't work. And yeah, man, I thought, man, you couldn't tell me nothing. I forgot I was even a rookie, So, but you find a way to rebound. You find a way to rebound, and they brought me back and put me on practice squad, and my career started.
All right. Let's take a look at this week's picks. All right. So we got the Raiders against the Texans tonight at 8:00. What do you think about this one, Mike?
I don't like the Houston Texans just because I played against them, and they're always a menace for us Jaguars. So I got to go with the Raiders. Mendez is doing really well, of course. And but again, who are they going to play? Preseason is always really difficult because they can put their second, third string in before halftime even if they wanted to. So I'm just going to go with the Raiders.
Okay, Coach.
I'm also going to go with the Raiders. Mendoza had a great first preseason game, throwing for a touchdown. Looked very poised, sitting there in the pocket. Definitely a winner. And I'm looking to see that he actually adds on to what he did in that first game.
Awesome, Troy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have an outfit out there poised for a Super Bowl run. And I'm interested to see how sharp they are in other positions. They got a young kid playing safety, Ramsey. He seems like he's blending right in, and he should make some noise here during this preseason game.
Interesting. I agree with Coach. I like Mendoza in that first game, man. But he's got plenty of pass protection to throw the ball. He could sit back there and get a manicure while he's waiting on the play to develop. So I'm gonna go for the Raiders, man, on this game.
Yeah, they're gonna chew him up tonight.
All right, interesting, man. Interesting pick.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's take a look at the next game. 49ers Chargers. Mike.
I don't know. I was with I'm just thinking about what my experience with either team, and I'm going to go with the 49ers just because I think I've got a buddy of mine that was a teammate of mine, Brent Boyer, who's the special teams coach for the 49ers right now, and just want to root him on. So I'm just going to go with the 49ers.
All right, Coach.
I'm also going with the 49ers. I don't know how much Brock Purdy is going to play. This is his fifth season. He's really coming into his own. Of course, he's done really well since he came on the scene. It reminds me of a little guy that played quarterback back in the late '80s named Doug Flutie. So let's see what happens here. But I'm looking forward to watching the 49ers throughout the season and seeing how well Purdy does, as well as that running back that came over from the Panthers a few years ago. They're going to be a team to reckon with. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Troy?
Yeah, Coach, you forgot about the game call. What Debo Sanders down there with San Francisco? You got Mike Evans down there with the San Francisco 49ers. You forget about those guys, but have you forgot about the Harbaugh brothers? You know, it's interesting to see what Jim and John put together this year. You know, I haven't seen them take too many L's. So I'm interested to see what Herbert and Harbaugh got in store this year. And I think they'll be a team to be reckoned with, San Diego Chargers.
The Chargers. Wow. Okay. I'm going to go with the 49ers on this one, man. I agree with the coach, Brock Purdy. I think, it really comes down to if he can stay healthy, like all the other quarterbacks this season, he's going to have another great year. So I'm going to be watching the 49ers as they get, deep into the season. I'm taking the 49ers over the Chargers.
Amen.
Jets, Steelers. What do you think, Coach?
Oh, I'm going with the Steelers all the way. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and those guys. In fact, they found out that they've actually got a really good backup quarterback right now that's going to probably end up being the starter before the year is out. You just watch, mark my word. He had a great first preseason game. I'm definitely going with the Steelers in this one.
All right. What do you think, Troy?
Hey, man, it's me again. Hey, I'm really wondering what's the expectations out in New York. I'm interested to see what Terry Glenn and those guys put together. So I'm gonna take the Jets here. You know, Terry, I don't know what the forecast is out there, but like my guy down in Chicago, man, you was hired to make some changes and bring some wins to New York.
So you're going the Jets over the Steelers?
I'm taking the Jets.
Wow. All right. Interesting picks, man. What do you think, Mike? Jets, Steelers?
I'm going to go with the Steelers. I don't know. I was just there in Pittsburgh. I went to a Pirates game, and it was great town, great fun. A lot of good people there in Pittsburgh, and I haven't really seen them yet this year, so I don't really have a good answer for you. Flipping a coin here, going with the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers on this one, man. The Jets, I don't know. All last season was dismal. I think it's going to be another dismal season, so I'm going Steelers.
Those poor Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Yeah.
All right. Panthers, Jaguars. Mike.
Wow, of course I'm going with the Jaguars. This
Go.
reminds me of back in the day when we very first, both teams were expansion teams the very first season in 1995. And we played them in the Hall of Fame game, the Carolina Panthers. And then, later on, you fast forward to the next year, 96, both us and the Panthers both went to our respected conference championship games. I'm sorry, division championship games. So it was conference, yeah. So NFC and AFC championship games, we both lost, of course, but that would have been kind of cool if we would have been both in the Super Bowl in our second year in existence. But I'm going with the Jaguars.
Awesome. Coach?
I'm also going with the Jaguars. The Trevor Lawrence starting quarterback there. I don't know how much he's going to play in this preseason game. Hopefully he gets a couple of series in there, but he's definitely a winner. Did some great things. Won a national championship there at Clemson. He's coming into his own. Has made it to the playoffs there with the Jaguars. A true team leader. He's a leader inside that locker room as well, not just in the huddle and on the field. So I'm looking for some great things this season out of the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, one of the top 5 quarterbacks and definitely an underrated quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Troy?
Yeah, I'm rocking with Jacksonville Jaguars also. I like the relationship that Lincoln and Trevor is building. I think they'll be a dynasty to be reckoned with if Trevor can stay upright. And they got some pieces down there. They should make some noise. I have them to being the best team in Florida.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he's in great shape. No injuries or anything like that. I mean, he had a great season last year. Devastating loss in the playoffs. But I think they have another chance to go all the way this year. I'm going Jaguars. All right, Packers, Broncos. Mike.
Again, probably another coin toss here. I'm going with the Packers. I've been watching a little bit of them. The quarterback is pretty good. A lot of good plays, a lot of good athletes. But again, it's preseason. It's so tough for me. Packers.
All right, Coach.
All right, so Mike, I'm going to differ with you on this one. I'm going with the Broncos. Bo Nix, I love that quarterback, man, and of course they're protecting him pretty well this preseason because of the injury he had right there in the playoffs, last play of the game in the playoffs. So I'm definitely going with the Broncos. I believe that they've got a really good thing going there. Sean Payton has a lot of young guys in there that they're looking at right now. And I'm going to give it. It'll be a close game, though. I really do believe it'll be a close one, but I'm going with the Broncos.
Okay, Troy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Broncos too. I'm biased here. I'm a Sean Payton fan. Sean was offense coordinator here at Dallas, our playoff run. So I've always enjoyed him. He's always had a funny side to him, that I picked up, and he's always been cool, man. I like Sean. I like what he's brought to the table, going down to New Orleans and winning it all, and now he's out in Denver rebuilding the franchise. And him and Bo Nix and that defense they're gonna make some noise.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they beat the pants off of us last week. I think they're going to do the same thing to the Packers.
I didn't know you had pants on.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. We're going to talk about the Falcons in detail a little bit later. All right, Commanders, Lions. Mike.
Another one. I like the Lions. I've always been a big fan of the Lions. I think they're up and coming. Clearly, after a couple years ago, I think it was that they made a nice run, I'm still a little not really in favor of the name change of the Commanders. So I'm just thinking of things that I don't like about each team. But I'm going to go with the Lions.
All right. What do you think, Coach?
I'm also going with the Lions, and I'm going to tell you why. That Dan Campbell, head coach for the Detroit Lions, has to be one of the toughest coaches in the NFL. Players have a tendency of emulating their coach over a period of time. I believe he's coming into his 5th season there as head coach. Those players are tough. They're going to play hard-nosed football. Anybody that goes up against this Lions team this year in 2026, they better look out.
Interesting. Troy?
Well, Dan Campbell was my tight end here at Dallas that same year I was telling with Sean Payton. But I'm going to go with Washington Commanders, and I want to talk about Jaden Daniels, that whole incident about number 5 with DJ Pickens. DJ Pickens is a Pasco County guy down in Florida, a 6'5", 6'4" corner, lockdown corner. Jaden was upset they passed the number on, and I respect Jaden Daniels because, Heisman Trophy winner. I think I think some of the respect. It's only 3 Heisman Trophy winners there at LSU if I stand corrected. So I think it should have been a lot of respect there. And I'm rocking with you, even though I got my homeboy DJ Pickens family. We're pulling for DJ to do big things there at LSU.
I'm taking the Commanders on this one. I like Jaden Daniels as well. I'm sticking with them. All right. Browns, Bills. Mike.
I got to go with my Bills. I say my Bills. I was only there 1 year, but I still definitely enjoy watching them. And I think they're, again, really good team. A lot of good, exciting stuff at the new stadium, except for some seating problems where they guaranteed there was nothing in the way, and apparently there's a lot in the way of some seats. But yeah, I'm just excited to see them play this year, and hopefully I maybe get a trip up there and watch them in the new stadium.
Coach?
Well, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And the Bills would have won about 3 or 4 back in the 90s, and they would have won about 3 or 4 here in the 2000s. But you know what? They haven't had a Merry Christmas. It's been bah humbug for the Bills, and it will be in this game against the Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders and that team will win this game, and I believe they'll win it by at least 2 touchdowns.
Huh. Troy?
I'm gonna follow Robby here. I'm gonna follow Robby. I think Shedeur is really he's on a platform where he needs to show consistency and accuracy and pushing and leading the team. You know, I'm not sure how far the franchise is willing to get behind Deshaun Watson at this moment. Are they really secure? But still, yeah, you know, you still got to push it. So I think Shedeur is in a great spot, and I look forward to him performing well tonight.
Yeah, like I said last week, win or lose, I'm sticking with Shedeur. I think he would do awesome, to be honest with you. You know, we lost him to the Browns, but anyway, I'm going to pull for the Browns on this one.
By yourself, Mike.
Went solo on that one, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay. You're by yourself, Jason.
Oh, so maybe I should go with the Colts, is what you're saying? Yeah, I'm going to go with the Colts.
I mean, you know, to be honest with you, last week I saw one promising drive. We got all the way down to the 6-yard line.
Just one.
How much responsibility falls on the coach and how much responsibility falls on the offensive coordinator for calling those plays?
You asking me?
Do you hear me, Coach?
No, you're kind of breaking up. If you're asking about me, I think that Coach Stefanski there with the Falcons, he's definitely got his work cut out for him, man. They've got a lot of stuff that they've got to do and improve on. But now, one thing I will say is you can tell a lot about a team about how well they improve from game 1 to game 2. I realize this is just preseason, but let's see how well the Falcons can improve from that first game into going into this second one. But I'm still going with the Colts.
Going with the Colts?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me repeat that question that I had. We had one promising drive. We got all the way down to the 6-yard line and had a pick 6. So my question is, you know, how much responsibility falls on the coach and how much responsibility falls on the offensive coordinator for calling plays? They call a shotgun play.
Well, if you're the head coach and if he's a true leader, he's gonna stand in front of that microphone and he's not gonna pass the buck because the buck stops with him. So he better take that responsibility. And if not, then the ownership needs to be looking for a new guy.
Yeah. All right. Troy, what do you think about this one?
I think it's on the player. You know, you hear what coach calling in. I think the player has to protect the ball at all costs. You got to come up with the ball. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, from alignment, assignment to check downs, the quarterback has to be the franchise. You know, and the quarterback making a play like that, you know, it's bad on the player. Sometimes you just got to eat it. You know, you got to eat it. You got to know where you're at. You got to get the points. You know, you just got to be a smarter ball player right there.
Yeah. What do you think? The Colts?
You say I'm a technical? Yeah, I ain't for sure. I don't know what Michael Penix down there doing, and I don't know what Tyler Tugafahufu doing either. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Colts.
All right. I'm going to take the Falcons only because I'm a diehard fan. But, you know, there needs to be some kind of decision made at the quarterback position. And, you know, I didn't see too much promise either with the pass protection. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what quarterback we got. He needs time to throw the ball. That's the bottom line.
The fans. I think the fans has to know what season are you in. Are you in a rebuilding stage? And I think you guys are really in that rebuilding stage where you need to just open the floodgates and just let everybody in for free for the year.
I agree, man. I agree. So I'm going Falcons, but I'm hanging in there as a diehard fan, y'all.
Good luck. Go Cowboys.
Vikings Ravens, Mike.
Wow, that's a good one. I'm going to go with the Vikings just because the Ravens were kind of a nemesis for us when we played. They were very tough to beat a lot of times. So they're good, yes, but I'm a fan of the Vikings.
Okay, Coach.
I'm going with Coach Mentor and the Ravens. Now, he was just hired back in January of this year. But that whole Ravens mentality, especially on defense, they are tough nose. And it takes, I'm telling you, there comes a point in time in every game when you've got to be tough. And when you play the Ravens, you got to be tough pretty much every play because those guys are going to play a physical type of football. So I'm definitely going with the Ravens in this game.
Awesome. Troy?
Even though we're in preseason, the talks are, how do Jackson and Henry match up, and what changes will be made, with the distribution of the football. I'm interested to see what's going to go on. I know it's probably won't happen tonight, but do they hand it off? Do they let Jackson be who he's going to be? I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with Minnesota. Until I can see what identity that Mentor brings into the franchise of the Ravens.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Ravens on this one. Sticking with the Ravens. All right. Saints Rams. Mike.
I got to go with the Rams. I just think they're overall a better team. And they in the past 4 or 5 years they've been really good. So I'm sticking with the Rams.
Okay, Coach Wells.
I'm the same way. Sean McVay, he's still a very young head coach there in the NFL. He's already got that Super Bowl under his belt, and he's always got the Rams playing at a very, very high level. They're going to be a contender this year, and as long as they stay healthy, which I think that if they have proper player management, they will. But yeah, I'm looking for great things out of the Rams, and I'm going with them in this game over the Saints.
Okay, Troy?
I agree with you, Coach. Even got a young Ty Simpson. Seems like he's catching his groove, like I spoke about earlier. He's getting the ball out of his hand fast. He's making some good, solid decisions. Had 2 touchdowns a couple of weeks ago. So, it's all about the Rams, man. It's all about the Rams and Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys now.
And the boys.
Go Cowboys.
Amen.
I'm sticking with the Rams on this one. As the Saints are in our division, I want to see them at the bottom of the division again this season. So I'm sticking with the Rams. Giants Dolphins, Mike.
Let's go with the Giants. No particular reason other than I played for them for a little bit. I like Miami though too, but yeah, I think Miami's really tough to predict. They've always, for whatever reason, I think they're really, really difficult to predict. So I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Okay, Coach Wells.
Jackson Dart, quarterback for the Giants, reminds me of Jim McMahon, that 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl shuffle team. I'm going to go with the Giants here. I love this kid. He's got all the intangibles. He is definitely got a sense of swag to him. He's cocky, but you know what? It's okay to be cocky if you can back it up. Now I don't know how much they're going to play him, but I tell you what, if this was a regular season game, I'm telling you, got to watch out for these Giants this year.
What you think, Troy?
Yeah, I think identity. Both of them are in rebuilding stage. I think Miami got a little more rebuilding to do than the New York Giants, and I'm gonna pick the G men.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Troy. I think both teams are rebuilding right now. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback at the Dolphins, but I think the Giants have a promising season ahead of them. So I'm going Giants on this one. Bears, Bengals, Mike.
Oh boy, I don't know. Honestly, I do not know. Just because we were just talking about the Bears, let's go with the Bears.
Okay, all right. Coach Wells?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears too. They've got a lot of things moving in the right direction. It looks like after that first preseason game, Coach Johnson will have his guys ready against the Bengals. Just not sure who all is going to be playing in this game. Of course, it's still early in the preseason, and each one of these teams is going to be giving all these young guys, these newcomers, a lot of looks. But I'm still going to go with the Bears. I like their system.
I agree. What do you think, Troy?
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with the Bears too. I like Ben Johnson and the attitude that he's took to Chicago Bears. Bottom line.
Yeah, I think the Bears looked great in that first game. I'm going Bears over the Bengals. All right, Eagles, Patriots. Mike.
I don't really know on this one either. Again, I haven't watched much football in the past couple weekends or whatever. But yeah, I would probably go with the Patriots. I think they're up and coming. They got a young quarterback, and I think good things are going to happen. That's one place, Philly. I never played in. I never played in Philly. I played against Philly, but never played in Philly. But going with the Patriots.
Okay. What you think, Coach?
Well, Mike Vrabel had him right there in his first year as head coach, and he's a really good head football coach. He's proven himself this past season, and I'm going to go, of course, with anybody that plays the Eagles because we know how we feel about them, Troy. I'm going with the Patriots in this one.
Oh man,
What you think, Troy?
man, coach twisting my arm. He's twisting my arm. I think Mike Vrabel brings a certain attitude to the game that you learn to respect, and you start to realize it don't make no difference what player is out there. His attitude, his covering of the team. I like Mike Vrabel. I like Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots.
Okay. I never thought I would say this, man, because I was never a Patriots fan, even when they had Brady, man. I'm still devastated from that Super Bowl, man. So
You should be.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll ever get over that, or any Falcons fan will get over that, as a matter of fact. But I'm going Patriots over the Eagles for this
But
game.
you know what, Jason? If you live in the past, you can't live in the present and get ready for the future.
Yes, sir.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I mean, but when you're up 28-3 at halftime and you lose, I mean, it's pretty devastating, man. Yeah.
I hear it all in your voice every week.
Yeah. All right. Chiefs, Buccaneers. Mike.
I'm just going to base it on past experiences. I think the Chiefs have been a very good team for clearly quite a while, Mahomes and everybody else there. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay. Coach.
No, I'm going to go with Todd Bowles and those Buccaneers in this one right here. I believe that the Chiefs are on the downslide with some of these older players, and they're trying to hang on to them and get as much as they possibly can. Maybe just a little bit too long that they've been hanging on to a couple of those guys. I probably would have made a couple of personnel changes that they didn't make. And, not that I'm being an armchair quarterback or anything like that, but I tell you what, I'm going to go with Todd Bowles, and I'm going to go with those Buccaneers in this one.
Okay. Troy.
Not sure, man. That's tough. And I'm from the Bay Area. Ain't that something? I'm gonna go with Andy Reid. I'm gonna go with Andy Reid. The Bucks still got some sewing up to do. I don't know about that secondary yet. The Bucks have. I'm gonna go with Andy Reid, and I agree with you, Coach Robbie, that it's some moves that should have been made with the Kansas City. That I think they're holding on to some, like Michael Parsons. Sometimes you got to shuffle those guys off and get some younger talent.
Right.
So yeah, I agree totally with you on your assessment there. But I think I haven't seen the Buccaneers stop anybody yet.
Yeah, I mean, even though they were first in our division last season, I mean, there were a lot of games that they should have lost. I mean, they won those games like within the last few minutes of the game. To me, they deserve to be in second or third place in our division last season. So I'm going Chiefs over the Buccaneers.
It's going to be real interesting.
Yes, the boys Cardinals. Mike.
I got to go with the Cowboys.
Hey, you can come back next week, Mike. Welcome back.
That was kind of why I answered Cowboys, to be honest with you.
Hey, my man. I like it.
Got to get on Troy's good side.
Hey, man, it's good to have it. I'm sorry.
What you think, Coach?
Oh, well, I'm definitely going with the Cowboys. Direction that Shoddy's got the team moving in right now. Jerry Jones has definitely assembled some new talent on that defensive front that looked really, really good against Seattle, playing up in Seattle, not only against those 11 on the field, but the 12th man in the stands too. So I'm looking for some great things to come out of this one. That new defensive coordinator for the Cowboys seems to have the pulse and be a player's coach, and they're playing really hard on defense for him right now. You're seeing a lot of great things on the offensive side too, and a lot of young talent that's getting an opportunity while Dak is being protected, of course, and sitting over there and watching. So yeah, I'm definitely going with the Cowboys in this one.
All right, Troy.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Robby Wells again. Mr. Jones is filling in on that defense. I like the acquisitions that's coming along. I like the buzz that's going home here in the Dallas area, man. Expecting big things out of the Cowboys. These young guys that's getting their reps now, that's going to be the difference maker of how can we gel, on all three aspects of the game. And, Cowboys, man, Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought I would, see myself actually picking the Cowboys to win any game. But I agree with you guys. They're going to win. They're going to win, and I think they're going to make the playoffs this season. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen after that, if they have a Super Bowl chance. But I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, the points will be there. Can we get some pivotal stops? That's what it's going to make. That's what's going to lay down.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Seahawks, Titans, Mike.
Oh boy, Titans were always a rival for the Jaguars, and I grew up in Washington State, of course, so big Seahawks fan back in the day. Still kind of am, of course. My guy Jason Myers is the kicker. Should have earned the Player of the Game last year in the Super Bowl. They don't give those to kickers, but I'm going with Seahawks.
Okay, Coach, what you think?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks too. They've got a lot to prove, especially after that loss to the Cowboys at home. I think that Coach McDonald will be doing a great job. He's going to have those Seahawks improve, and we're going to find out here in game 2 of the preseason just how well the Seahawks respond after a very hard fought loss against the Cowboys. So yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks in this one.
Okay, Troy.
I'm rocking with Seahawks. They seem like they got depth in every position. They seem like they're poised to make another run. I mean, it's just everything is just they're quietly getting it done. I'm with Seahawks.
Yeah, that was a hard loss for the Seahawks last week. I think they have momentum going into this week, though, as Coach Wells said. So I'm going Seahawks over the Titans. And that's the last game for Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. So we will see what happens. Any last words for this week, Coach?
Did you come to me? You're breaking up.
I'm still breaking up. Can you guys hear me?
I can now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any last words for this week's? games?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing these young guys. That's the one thing great about the preseason is that these coaches get a chance to evaluate the young and upcoming talent. Uh, so you know, the games don't count as far as the actual win-loss record is concerned, but we definitely get a glimpse into the future of each one of these teams. This is the time where everybody gets excited. Don't get overly excited because again, you're just watching the young guys play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
What do
for
you
me,
think, Mike? Oh, go ahead, Troy.
well, I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah, for me, I'm interested in following the undrafted guys. I've always been, I came from the bottom of the basement to get my career going, and I'm always searching down for those young guys that's making an impact, that's making a play. You have to do something. Make them say your name. Make them say your name. And that's where it's at. Keep clawing. If you're there for a reason. Step up to the plate. All undrafted rookie free agents, man, that's crawling for a position. You got to do something exceptional. You have to do it. There's no other way out, or you're gonna get beat out, and I hate to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with all that has been said. Of course, I think that this is a great time to evaluate guys and for guys to step up. I mean, limited amount of opportunities with only 3 preseason games nowadays, so it's been challenging for guys to kind of make an impact on their team. And so I think when the chance arises for these young guys to get in, whether it's the second, third string, fourth string, whatever, just take advantage of every opportunity you have. And like Troy said, make them say your name. Get some good plays out there so people are talking about you, and give the coaches a really hard decision to make when it comes to whether they're releasing you or not. Play well, do well. I'm going to be watching the kickers, of course, so we'll see how they do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to these games this week. Everybody's on edge about the Falcons situation as well as I am. So I'm continuing to pray and plead the blood of Jesus over my Falcons, and please pray for my Falcons as well, gentlemen. Y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the games tonight. We will be back next Thursday. God bless y'all. Take care.
I'll be at number 1 again this week.
Amen.
Good to see you, Coach. Good to see you, Coach.
You too, Troy.
All right. Nice meeting you, Mike.
You too.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Take care, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for watching The Gridiron Circle. Join the conversation every Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern. Follow, subscribe, and share.